Hello, my name is Mike Swiger, and today's passage is Philippians chapter 3, verses 4 through 7. Though I myself have reason for confidence in the flesh, if anyone thinks he has a reason for confidence in the flesh, I have more. Circumcised on the 8th day, of the people of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of the Hebrews, as to the law, a Pharisee, as to zeal, a persecutor of the church, as to righteousness under the law, blameless. But whatever gain I had, I count as a loss for the sake of Christ. Paul realized the privileges and positions he enjoyed as a Jew. He possessed them to a remarkable degree. In order to refute his opponents, the Judaizers, who taught that Gentiles had to observe the Jewish laws and customs as a prerequisite to becoming a Christian, Paul now lays out his family heritage and his religious pedigree to show that if anybody had grounds and justification for depending on such Jewish prerogatives, Paul was the man. He checked all the right boxes. He was circumcised on the 8th day, which meant that he was a genuine Jew by birth, no Johnny-come-lately to the faith. He was from the tribe of Benjamin, the tribe known as Israel's elite, its highest aristocracy. This was the tribe from which the first king of Israel originated, and the only tribe to remain loyal to Judah when the kingdom was divided. The phrase a Hebrew of Hebrews meant that both his father and his mother belonged to the Jewish race, all the way back to Abraham. So what Paul was actually saying is that he was of pure, unmixed Hebrew stock, the purest of the pure. And not only did he belong to the most strict and rigorous Jewish denomination, the Pharisees, a group that represented the most loyal, patriotic, and conservative group of the Jews, but he advanced in this religion far beyond those of his own age. He studied directly under one of the greatest Jewish scholars of the ancient world, Gamaliel. In fact, Paul's reputation as a scholar was so well known that even the Roman governor Festus, familiar with Paul's academic prowess, once remarked, "Paul, your great learning is driving you out of your mind." Paul was the Stephen Hawking of his day. To refute his opponents, who supposedly had a greater zeal for the Jewish faith, Paul shares that prior to his conversion to Christianity, he was so zealous to protect the purity of the Jewish faith that he violently persecuted the church. Not only did he oversee the sanction the martyrdom of Stephen, but he imprisoned men, women, and children who professed to be believers in Jesus Christ. Paul had done everything he possibly could to exterminate any threat to the Jewish faith. Concerning his outward behavior in conformity to the Jewish laws and customs, Paul says that he was blameless. Now, this was not a claim to sinlessness, but a faithfulness to the Old Testament's described way of living. But all these worldly and religious attainments Paul now considers to be worthless. He calls them laws, because they could not draw him any closer to Jesus Christ. As an aside, the conversion of Saul of Tarsus and his sudden transformation into a Christian apostle is one of the most remarkable miracles in history. It is also one of the strongest arguments in support of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Unless Saul really did meet Jesus on his way to Damascus, it is impossible to give a rational explanation as to why he experienced such a mental and spiritual revolution. He became willing to die for the cause he once killed to destroy. A true Christian puts no confidence in himself. He realizes his helplessness, his unworthiness, and his sinfulness before a holy God. He believes that nothing in his character or his conduct reaches to the divine standard of righteousness. And then he sees the cross and the risen Jesus Christ, and he rejoices in all that Christ has done for him. Those who catch a true vision of Christ and His saving grace will demonstrate this love towards their fellow believers and to the Lord. They will humbly acknowledge their moral weakness, their imperfection, and they will count as loss anything that keeps them from a fuller knowledge and experiential faith in Jesus Christ. Thank you so very much for sharing with me a few moments in the Word.